The Monster Loop Curse, this old movie from 20 years ago, perfectly brings these three horror elements to their peak. The ending is simply amazing, no more words needed, let's begin. Today's story, The Soul-Locking Hungry Bird. In 1863, in the town of Fairhope, Alabama, a group of cavalrymen were holding several sacks of gold coins, ready to deposit them in the bank. At that moment, a group of uninvited guests arrived outside. Their target was precisely the bags of money that hadn't been stored yet. Quickly, the uninvited guests bloodily raided the bank and stole the gold coins. To avoid capture, they planned to cross the forest and divide the money once they reached Mexico. As they walked, they saw a cornfield. At the end of the cornfield was an abandoned mansion. As it was getting late, they decided to spend the night in the mansion and continue their journey at dawn. In the cornfield, a strange scarecrow caught Little May's attention. Upon closer inspection, this thing didn't seem to be made of straw, but was actually a real corpse. The presence of the scarecrow indicated that this was not a safe place. However, the leader, William, didn't take it seriously at all. After a few steps, something indistinct suddenly rushed over. Little Shuai quickly reacted and shot the thing dead. Initially, everyone thought it was a bobcat, until they saw its body and realized it was a creature they had never seen before. It looked like a skinned wild boar. You have to wonder, aren't these people at all concerned about the situation? The mansion was surrounded by overgrown weeds, indicating it had been abandoned for many years. Before entering, Little Shuai accidentally stepped on and killed a fledgling. Little May, on the other hand, didn't care at all about what had died during the earlier gunfight with the cavalrymen. Xiao Shuai's shoulder was hit by a bullet. The urgent task is to remove the bullet quickly to avoid infection. Strangely, even though the house is uninhabited, there are clear footprints on the floor. During a safe period, they carefully checked every corner of the villa. William found a family photo showing a family of 4, a couple with 2 children. Where they went is unknown. William's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of a lock being opened outside. It turned out that Haiger found the entrance to the basement, but the door was locked from the inside and couldn't be opened. Meanwhile, Xiaopang, who was checking upstairs, encountered something strange. From under the bed, it seemed like the sound of a child's laughter was coming. Just as he was about to check with a lamp, Hu Zige suddenly appeared, giving him a big scare. Hu Zige asked Xiaopang what he had found. Xiaopang didn't say anything and went with Hu Zige to check other places. William and Haiger soon made another discovery. They found the place where slaves used to live, and compared to the rooms in the villa, the conditions in the basement were extremely simple. On the table was a vertebra drawn in white bone, and next to it was a dusty book. Bloodstains were clearly visible on the pages with strange writing on them. The well-informed Haig told William that this was a spell that could awaken the dead. William obviously didn't believe it. After eliminating the danger, the few people who moved in didn't sleep peacefully. To prevent anyone from swallowing the gold coins, they each found something to pass the time. Some played cards, while others explored the mysterious realms of the body in the upstairs rooms. Xiaopang led the horses to the barn and then went out to fetch water. As a result, he heard a child's cry for help coming from the bottom of the well. I can't see. Oh my heavens! Kind-hearted Xiaopang! They lowered the bucket into the well, ready to pull the child up, but as they were pulling, a ghostly pale hand suddenly appeared. Little Fatty didn't have time to react and was dragged down by the ghost hand. Seeing that Little Fatty hadn't returned for a long time, a few worried people went out to look for him. But after searching for a long time, they still couldn't find any trace of Little Fatty. At night, it was pitch black, and everyone speculated that Little Fatty might have wandered into the cornfield and gotten lost. With the storm approaching, they decided to wait until daylight to search for him. At this moment, they couldn't have imagined that Little Fatty was right in the well behind them. They also didn't know that the seemingly safe villa actually hid a terrifying secret. While Brother Hu was squatting, a shadow appeared at the door, pacing back and forth. Thinking it was the hunting dog, Brother Hu didn't pay much attention. However, the next second, the thing outside the door started shaking the door wildly. When Brother Hu cautiously opened the door, the thing had already disappeared into the cornfield without a trace. Over on Xiao Mei's side, things weren't peaceful either. Her intuition told her there seemed to be something under the bed. So, she gathered her courage, bent down, and tried to see what was going on underneath. Hearing Xiao Mei scream, William and his younger brother Xiao Shuai rushed over immediately. Xiao Mei frantically told them there was a little boy hiding under the bed. William and Xiao Shuai checked the room but found no suspicious person. On the entire second floor, besides Xiao Mei, there was no one else. William thought Xiao Mei must have been dreaming. But no matter what, Xiao Mei felt there was something wrong with this villa and that it would be best to leave immediately. William disagreed, saying it was raining heavily outside, making it inconvenient to travel, and besides, little Fatty was still missing. Should they just leave him behind? Just as the two were arguing, Xiao Shuai, who was lying on the bed resting, saw something incredible. Yes, it was the same boy Xiao Mei had seen. The boy told Xiao Shuai, "Our parents used to sleep in this bed." He had kidney disease at the time and loved lying in bed. The boy's words scared Xiao Shuai, making him reckless and self-conscious. Because his wound was a bit infected, Xiao Shuai couldn't roll over or lie comfortably. With no other option, he clasped his hands tightly, praying for divine protection. In the blink of an eye, the boy disappeared, and a man dressed in a chicken costume appeared before Xiao Shuai. This man was the boy's father. The man in the suit said, "I had no choice. I placed the children somewhere no one could find them because I wanted to bring my wife back to life. But they tricked me and turned my 2 children into demons." The man in the suit asked, "Who is Xiao Shuai? Why is he in my house? And where is my wife?" Xiao Shuai was bewildered by his questions and hadn't thought of an answer when the man in the suit angrily raised a knife. Xiao Shuai's fate was uncertain, yet no one else noticed anything unusual. When Brother Huzi went back to his room to rest, he found a strange doll on the bed. Its eyes and mouth were sewn shut with black thread. Brother Huzi thought the doll was ugly, glanced at it twice, and then casually tossed it to the floor. Brother Hei's main task tonight was to keep a close watch on the gold coins. As the long night dragged on, it was hard not to get sleepy. Just as Brother Hei was dozing off, a strange noise suddenly came from outside. He took a lamp and checked around, finally stopping in front of a window. A twisted, ghostly face seemed to be Xiao Shuai's. Brother Hei was quite frightened, but in the blink of an eye, everything around him returned to normal. Was he so tired that he was hallucinating? Just as he was about to return to his room, the door to the locked basement slowly opened. Driven by curiosity, Brother Hei went inside. Meanwhile, Brother Huzi, who had just lain down, noticed a little girl in the corner of the room who hadn't been there before. He approached her with concern to ask what was going on. The girl faced the wall and remained silent the entire time.